afternoon and welcome back to Laurel Park. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Gabby Gaudette, joined by Keith Fustel to take a look at this 9-race program. What's happening right now, actually, up at Pimlico, we've got Canter for the Cause that's going on. Usually it happens during the Pimlico meet. I think it's a little bit more delayed this year, but I was just looking on Twitter, so that looks like it's in well order. I saw a couple of people actually that used to be around here in Maryland come back in town to do that, the Canter for the Cause. Ryan Vogelsong, one of them.
Really?
He showed up yesterday.
You know what? That brings up an interesting topic, Ryan Vogelsong. You bring him up. I was out cleaning some stuff up this past week out in one of my sheds in the back of the yard. I've got a box of Ryan Vogelsong Songer bobbleheads from Colonial. If anybody needs any, let me know.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see him. Of course, what year did he win the Eclipse Award?
I do not remember.
I can't remember.
No.
Anyway.
We're going back a while.
Anyway, it's good to see him. And yesterday we had a lot of action going on here at Laurel Park, so we wanted to backtrack and show you some of the replays from yesterday with our 3 featured stakes races. We had the Caveat, we had the Pearl Necklace, and the Stormy Blue. So we'll go back and take a look at the Caveat that started us off in the stakes action. This was race 3 yesterday, and we saw Just Howard, a recent maiden, come back, break his maiden last time out, come back, face Stakes Company, and went head-and-head with bonus points to the wire, but dug in so gamely.
Very game to the wire. He was a little bit, tough to relax. He was real keen down inside behind horses going into the first turn. Finally got settled around the 5/8 pole and got a nice trip, tipped out, got about a 3-path ahead of the stretch and really closed up nicely. Bonus points looked like he might get the best of them. No, dead game, holding on through the last 1/8 of a mile.
I was talking to Alex Cintron after the race, and he said he had a conversation with Graham Motion before his maiden victory, saying that, well, maybe he would benefit from putting the blinkers on. He looks like a horse that has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
He just hasn't quite figured it out yet, and it looks like he's starting to figure it out.
I think there's still a little bit more room for him to go up. I think he's going to be a nice one moving forward into the later part of the summer, into the fall.
I absolutely agree. That was for Skedaddle, Graham Motion, Alex Cintron, Just Howard, with the victory in the Caveat Stakes. We'll take a look at the Pearl Necklace next, and this was, I'm Betty G. Somehow she dug in gamely there. We saw Riley's Choice battling it out down the stretch. Of course, the foal of Shared Account. She should have liked the turf, and she definitely did, but just second best that day, I'm Betty G for Mike Maker.
Another 2. They were kind of in their own match race from the 8th pole to the wire. I'm Betty G. That was your stat play pretty much of the day for Maker. Overcame a stumbling start and really recovered quickly, and again, looked like bonus points had the measure. Another one just really tenacious on the front end. It was a nice little match race pretty much from the far turn to the wire.
It was impressive because she just won going 5 furlongs and she stretched out for the first time and still had enough momentum to hang on down on the inside. A very, very game finish. Now we'll take a look at the final stakes race on yesterday's card, and that was race 10 in the Stormy Blues. And Morticia, I didn't think that she was going to get up, but she slowly but surely started reeling, smiling causeway in, coming down the stretch, and final time very quick, actually 2 ticks faster than the course record on the Kelso.
Wow, yeah, strong. Took her a while to switch leads. Once she switched leads, she leveled off nicely and kicked away another one. Moving forward, she's deadly. 5.5 up to probably a mile for her. A real versatile type of filly. A horse you'd love to have in your barn.
Yeah.
I mean, just can do anything.
She can win on when she's forwardly placed, when she's on the lead, she won't let any other horses pass her. And then when she comes from off the pace, she just won't give up until she passes the other horses. It's pretty cool to see a horse like that, and I can imagine she'll be back in graded stakes company pretty soon.
Absolutely.
So some really nice winners that we saw yesterday. But now moving forward, we've got some events and activities that are coming up, and pretty quickly we'll take a look at the famous crab feast that's here at Laurel Park. That'll be happening on Sunday, July 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. But we've got sodas, draft beer included. You can see the price information down at the bottom of the screen. If you want more information, please call that number. That's going to be on Haskell Day, so you can watch and wager the Haskell from here at Laurel Park with some steamed crabs and cold beer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What more do you like for Haskell Day? And yeah, coming out to Laurel, and yeah, great price. And I hear the crabs are running quite well this season. So yeah,
Mhm.
I've yet to really delve in. I think I might have to go get some this week.
I've had them 3 times
Really?
already.
Oh
I don't
man.
know where I
Okay.
found time, but yeah, they've been good. I got some really good ones in Baltimore.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a look again the day before the crab feast.
Uh-huh.
So, Kids Day here at Laurel Park. That's happening Saturday, July 29th from 1 to 5 p.m. So, bring the family out for pony rides, petting zoo, airbrush tattoo artist, face painter, and crafts. It's free admission and activity. So,
Cool.
really good incentive to bring the whole family out here to Laurel.
Absolutely. And still get them a couple like mystery vouchers. Maybe they can play with some Monopoly money. Get these kids really ready to roll by the time they're 18. And
Teach them
yeah.
how to read the form.
Yeah, exactly. We should.
Yeah, start
I mean,
'em
I
young.
learned it about 8 or 9 years old. I'm sure
Yeah.
you were probably about the same.
Oh yeah,
we
for
were on it
sure.
early.
Back when, do you remember when there was AstroTurf up or some up there on the grandstand when before they renovated it,
Yes,
before they
yeah.
renovated this
Mhm.
whole area? I can
Right.
remember just sitting in the chair with my
Yeah.
dad looking at the
That's
form.
great.
So yeah, great memories. Bring the kids
We
out
need some
here.
new shooters. Yeah.
We do. We always need some new shooters. Keep it going, generation after generation. All right, we'll take a look at today's card. We've got 9 races on tap. We've got some carryovers to take advantage of as well. We've got that rolling super high 5 carryover that starts in the first race today that carries on to each race with 7 or more betting interest, just shy of $1,000 there. When we get to the Rainbow 6, that does kick off in the 4th race today on this 9 race program. That is just over 3,200 too. So I took a stab at the early pick 4. You took a stab at the
Yep.
late pick 4 here. I did think that this card was pretty challenging in terms of trying to find a single in either pick 5 or even pick 6.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at those pick 4s, but we'll look outside to our track and weather conditions right now, and you really couldn't ask for a better day. There's barely a cloud in the sky. It's cool. It's breezy. We're probably going to get into the mid-80s today, but we are fast and firm on the turf.
Yeah, this is about as good as it gets. You know, the humidity's down a little bit, a nice little light breeze. Perfect day for racing. Get outside, get a cold drink, get out on the apron, and really kind of watch these horses live. Get away from the TV screens for a little bit.
Yep,
Get out there and
exactly.
enjoy it.
So there was a dad on the apron yesterday asking me, or with his kid, who's going to win the next race? I say, come down to the paddock and pick the one that looks the prettiest.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you start getting into the game.
And you pick up on some things,
Yeah.
like you say, that you don't just normally see there. You're sitting, whether you're at your house or up in the grandstand and just handicapping. Come down, take a look at them. You can really get some clues, and it's always good having somebody like you. I know Kimber does some stuff analyzing the horses, and it helps. It does help.
Why do you think we're by the paddock here?
Yeah.
Because we're close to the action.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to today's opener here, and we start things off on the turf at 1.16 for this start allowance optional claimer. This race does start super high 5 wagering. We've got a carryover 920 and change, and this does also kick off that early pick 5 with that industry low takeout of 12%. And we'll look at the opener, and I think that there are several horses that could win this race. We've got Baltic Art, we've got Liquid Aloha, Silver Romeo. Those 3 are potentially going to take money. I took a little bit of a shot here, but I can't fault you for landing on Liquid Aloha.
Yeah, you kind of went out of the box. I looked at your selection. That kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop. I'm interested to see your angle. Got to respect that. That horse has back numbers. That's the 6 on tender hooks. And after yesterday's stat play, I'm not doubting anything.
I have no.
that
I
you
don't
put
have
out there.
crazy. I do have one stat today. We won't show it, but I have I have a good stat.
This,
So.
I think the road has to go through the 1, 2, or 4 the way it really breaks down. Not a whole lot separating these 3 horses. Silver Romeo probably has the best speed, is going to be the one to catch. But I think Liquid Aloha might settle the best price of the 3. It lined at 5-2 on the morning line. Out of a key race, Lost Story came back to win. That was first time reported gelding, and I really like the sustained run. Good internal fractions. Finished up a strong final quarter mile last time. I think a smaller field, this horse can get positioned by the time they hit the half mile pole. I think this horse has the best finishing punch. We saw Baltic Art look like a one-dimensional type of horse, but no, he managed to close up ground last time. He'll be tough. One of these 3, a little better price for Liquid Aloha. The barn, they repeat with winners. They do well when they come down here. Take a shot.
I agree. Like, if you look at Baltic Art, I thought that he was a horse that just kind of got lucky going wire to wire over the yielding,
Mm-hmm.
going two starts back, and pretty slow on a pretty slow
Yeah.
fractions there. But he came back to run a good race, closing from off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Last time out, he should manage to save some ground with a good rail post position. Forrest Boyce has been riding in fantastic form lately. Liquid Aloha, of course, the last victory was Horacio Caramanis'
Yeah.
2000th victory.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's a little partial to that horse. But the 4 Silver Romeo, I mean, this is one, too. He's been competitive at
Mm-hmm.
this level. I think he's just met kind of tough
Yes.
fields for the level. I think this might be a more manageable field. But the reason why I went to on tenter
Uh-huh.
hooks here for Todd Wyatt is because of those back numbers
Okay.
that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He was laid off for a while. He had some gappy form there. He came back off of a February 2016 layoff
Mm-hmm.
at Delaware. I did think that he was compromised by a pretty slow pace in front and just looked like he was running in place.
Mm-hmm.
So with that and maybe getting a little bit more pace today, second off the layoff, one race under his belt, I'm hoping he gets to some of those back numbers when he was running against Allowance Company, Two Other Than Company.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he'll have to move up considerably, I believe, off of the Delaware try, but
You
yeah,
do.
and he
Mhm.
offers a lot of value in this race, which is good. Yep.
All right, we'll get to the second race, and this does start that early pick 4. We go out to the main track at the one-turn mile for this lower level claiming event. We'll take a look here at my early pick 4 ticket, and I am just this is I'll show you. I'll talk about the stat here for
Okay.
Kieran in a second, but. I mean, you could probably go against Include Gold. I'm not going to go against her
Mhm.
here. And sometimes favorites are your friends in those multi-race bets. So I'm going to key off of her, and then we can spread in the third race with 3 horses, followed by the 2, 4, 6 in the fourth, and then the 1, 5, 6, 8 in the fifth for a $24 ticket. So I was trying to beat her,
Okay.
Keith.
Yep.
That's the 6 Include Gold. She's 8 to 5 on the morning line. She's dropping from Restricted Allowance Company to the $5,000 tag here today. So obviously a big head scratcher. But I was looking at stats for Kieran McGee over the past couple of years. With his dirt horses dropping from allowance to claiming company, he is 26 for 82. That's 32%,
Yeah.
and obviously a positive ROI,
Mhm.
and 61% in the money. So for me, it looks like this horse is coming out of a bad subpar performance
Mhm.
last time out. They made their money with her. They claimed her for 5,000. This is the get out race.
Yeah, I can't remember if she was scratched a couple times between that March 25th race and the May
Mhm.
race. She threw in a clunker, no doubt about it, as the favorite. It was a muddy sealed surface. You know, she had run okay on that kind of surface before, but you're right. When he takes his attack angle, he's awfully tough to beat. Um, is she that 70, 68 kind of a buyer figure horse, or is she going to go back to where she was,
Mhm.
kind of around those lower 50s? If she does, I think Lily's Peak, Patty Farrow had 2 horses in here, right? Scratch is the 5, and I'm thinking, why would they run both in here? The speed goes. I think Lily's Peak comes back to a track she absolutely loves. She's 5 for 9. She's fresh. A little bit of a drop, I believe, out of that two and a year race at Parks. I think she can go ahead and dictate it. I think Stormy Salute. I don't. You know, she ran in that one fluky race back
Mhm.
in April where she just galloped better ways in really good form. But I think Lily's Peak might be able to go ahead and steal on a track that she just really, really loves.
She very well could. You also use the 4 kind of in the
Mhm.
bottom half of your
Yeah.
ticket. I didn't know what to do with Carolina Dreams because that was a not good performance last time out that she comes out of. And
No.
you can't really say that she was outclassed because though the public bet her down to 4 to 1, I mean, it wasn't like she was
Right.
crazy
Yeah,
outclassed. And
yep.
she just put in a clunker. Are we going to see that type of mare? Are we going to see the type of mare that has been competitive against even open claimers before?
I think she'll come back a little bit better. She's another one. 4 starts, a win, 2 seconds, and a third. Just a little bit of a grinding type. She's not real flashy, Carolina Dreams, but she'll keep on churning through the stretch and try to get up. Better ways in good form. I like her race last time. She's going to get the target and sit just off of Lily's Peak. Include Gold, though. Yeah, I'll say she's probably all or nothing. She runs
Yeah.
second. These are the type of horses, if they run second, they just completely bury me.
She is. She is
bury
all
me
or
if they do that.
nothing. And
Yep.
if you're playing that pick 4 or the pick 5, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Do you try to beat her
Mhm.
or do you try to use her in those multi-race bets? Because you can't start getting a little indecisive and saying, all right, I'm going to use her and I'm going to use this one and this one. It's all or nothing.
Yeah,
So
because she is, and you look at this race, outside of her, if she fires her best shot, okay, great, she wins it. But there's 3 or 4 horses
Yeah.
in there really, really tough to separate when you
Mhm.
really get down to it.
I agree. All right, we'll try to get through race 2 and the pick
Okay.
4. We get to the third race. This is a maiden $25,000 event, a mile and a 16th onto the turf.
Hmm.
And this race I thought was pretty good too. We've got the 9, So Innocent, who's dropping in class, who figures to take money, comes out of a poor break last time out. But I don't know. We've seen kind of Michael Matt's horses, especially at the maiden level, when he starts dropping them
Yeah.
in class, they tend to not fire.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
agreed. I mean, she gets that 55 number at Monmouth, maybe a little bit inflated, but she's making that drop. No Lasix, goes second time blinkers. She was just dead even
Mm-hmm.
in that race, and she's going to be a short price. The publics are going to glance at it. I think she will, end up around 8 to 5, 9 to 5. Holiday Prayer looks good. I like her move outside to inside. I think she'll get a better sustainable run here. Second time long on the turf. But Eidolon, number 6, is going to be my top selection. We're going to get value. It's Delacour. The blinkers go on. We saw this move yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
A horse that really didn't run well was out of this same race. Out of the
Weekend.
Fury. Weekend came out of this same race on June the 9th at Monmouth and won yesterday in the Virginia bred maiden special weight. This horse just dropped out of it early. Jock, horse, everybody just down inside and never wanted to do anything really.
Mm-hmm.
I think this horse is going to majorly wake up. You see the stat, 36% with a positive RI from a huge sample maiden second time out.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
picked this horse fourth, and when I was constructing, and this was a couple days ago,
Yeah.
obviously, but when I was constructing my pick 4 ticket today, and I saw the way that the weekend won, stepping up in class to
Mhm.
maiden special weight
Yeah.
company yesterday, I think she got a 63 by her
Yes, she
speed
did. Yep.
figure for that.
Mhm.
I had to include her in that pick
Okay.
4, and there were other multiple horses that came back
Mhm.
to win in their subsequent starts,
Yes.
so she could definitely improve. I like the post position. I like everything with the one
Uh-huh.
Holiday Prayer. I think she's going to get a perfect trip stalking from off of the pace
Mhm.
down on the inside. She had a break kind of towards the outside last time out. She is just kind of an even type of horse.
Yeah.
So I think if Forrest gets her out of the gate, gets
Mhm.
her in that stalking
Yeah.
position, she's going to have so much less to do.
It'll be interesting to see because once again, you look at it, not a lot of speed.
Mhm.
Maybe cross the desert, but will Holiday Prayer and Forest Boys from she gets a good break from the rail, will she just go ahead and send? I think she's going to be right on or near the lead today. She was a little bit, I don't say ranked, but kind of got out around the first turn and had to be guided back in. Straighter course for Holiday Prayer is probably going to put her right in the mix.
All right, well,
Mhm.
both going against So Innocent there as we get to the fourth race. This does kick off the 20-cent Rainbow 6. We'll show you that carryover here. We've got a carryover of just over $3,200, $3,284 to be specific. We head out to the main track at 5.5 furlongs. And this race, I think it's difficult to kind of predict the pace.
Yes.
There's a couple of horses that look like they should be on the
Right.
lead, or is one horse just going to
Just
break?
go right to the
Yeah.
front and just fire away. King's House might be that kind of horse.
That was my thought.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
might be that kind of horse. He was kind of ran away and hid, 2 races back to get run down late social media. Zen Pop is pretty quick in his own right, as is Ring Collector, who's improving for Damon. So I kind of went a little bit out of the box
Mhm.
in race number 4. I'm chasing Parsiege, and I got to take a shot again.
He's
I
not
think,
possible.
back with Laura Lee Glazer. I think this horse will be able to relax a little bit down towards the inside with the speed kind of going away. I think this horse just kind of steadily makes a move.
Mhm.
I think he can come from a little bit further off the pace. He has numbers to do it and get up at a big price. And at 12-1 morning line, he should demand every bit of that.
Yeah, of course you want to be able to figure out the pace scenario
Mhm.
before the race is run, but in my opinion, when you're constructing that multi-race bet, when you're looking at this race, I do think that King's House could potentially go out to the
Mhm.
front end by himself. If he doesn't break well, if something happens and there's a duel up front, well,
Yeah.
you can back yourself up with the likes of Parsiegen, who could get a beautiful
Mhm.
setup. So that's how I kind of entered this race with just the 2-4. I like
Okay.
them best.
All right.
And I believe we have a video spotlight
Yeah.
replay of
Yeah, we can
Parsiegen.
kind of go watch that race from last time out. What was it, June 9th? Which race we going to?
Yep,
Yeah,
June
the
9th.
June 9th race, and that is a race also with Zen Papa. So you're going to get the 2 for the price of 1 here. Zen Papa on the lead and really runs game this day, but Parsiege in the gray is just out there 3 and 4 wide throughout. You see the gray just kind of laboring a little bit that day. I expected a little bit more run. The wide trip, I think this horse is going to be able to draft over to the inside. But Zen Papa, you want to see. You think he just needs the lead. He put up a pretty good fight when he got hooked
Mm-hmm.
the last eighth of a mile, so he might be able to just force the issue in King's House before getting the lead. But I like Precision as a price, maybe in DNA approved. I don't know what he was doing up on the lead last time out. I don't think he's got the kind of speed to go with some of these other horses. He'll be better suited making a run from mid-pack.
I think they figured that, well, it worked out for him back on the
Yeah.
18th of May at Pimlico, but that race really had no pace in it
Mm-mm.
whatsoever, so he
Mm-mm.
took advantage. But
Yeah.
whenever he's like tested on the front end, he just
He
seems
just
to
kind
kind
of
of fall
wills.
apart.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Rain Collector's interesting. You see the two comments, erratic, rank.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to figure this horse out, but a nice jump up, almost 10 points in the buyer figures from that March 31st win to June 16th. In really good form for a barn that, they can keep them going and keep them going in the right direction. I like the way they're managing Ring Collector, staying at the $5,000 level.
All right, well, that's the fourth race for you. We took a look at the early pick four. That race four does kick off the 20-cent pick six. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll look at the second half of the card, including Keith's late pick four ticket. Welcome back to Today at the Races. Gabby Gaudette alongside Keith Fustel. Race 5 does kick off that 50-cent late pick 5. No carryover in that wager today, but I think it's a pretty fun sequence. We've got, again, that industry low takeout at 12% for this 50-cent based wager. 5.5 furlongs on the turf will start us off. I like a little bit of a price play in here.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a moment, but split. We want to go back and watch a race.
Yeah, I've got Split in the mix, but I want to take a look at the race on May the 18th at Pimlico, if we can go back to that. And I tell you, reunited with Sheldon Russell today is Split, and he really got along well with him this day at Pimlico. He saved ground every step of the way. You see him moving up from about 5th position along the rail, and that was able to kind of really enhance his run. A lot of time these sprinters, and especially Split's the type, he doesn't want to be wide every step of the way. He's got to make a perfectly timed run, makes a good run in between horses there that day, take down Charlie just a little bit better. Fig, okay, a 59 Fig. I'm questioning a couple of these June 30th numbers when really breaking it down, because you look at the race on June 30th, Royal Crusader Party Region, their race was much faster of the other 16 down to 12.5, 2 in Life Claimer at the same distance on the same course. So he's going to have to move up, but there's plenty of speed in this race. Once again, I think Sheldon will get Split over towards the inside. I think he's a user at a good price underneath in your tries and superfectas.
So instead you go to the 11, Chili Magician, who is cutting back in distance. And I thought this horse had a shot, but how do you think he's going to do at this distance?
Yeah, I just think the race may fall apart, just fall right into his lap. I mean, he chased, the third and fourth quarters were pretty quick last time, and he stayed on and then just faded a little bit late. I think he's got one run in him. It's going to have to be perfectly timed for Cintron. Baybelt, speed. Crimson Secret, really fast. Party Region, really quick, comes off the claim. Sweet Steppin' is going to entertain the pace a little bit. I think that the field comes back. Party Region was dead game last time in between horses. I don't know if he's going to be able to run 3 races in a row, especially now we're going first time in the barn, not knocking Pat McGill off. He's run hard, two straight races. Can he do it a third time? I'm not sure.
I like Baybelt, and he draws the rail post position. He's got no other option but to just send from the rail and just hope for the best. And I think his main fear is Crimson Secret. I think Crimson Secret is maybe a touch faster than Party Region. I like him with the rail post position. He had a horrible break a couple starts back when he was sprinting on the turf. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shot just because I think he's a little bit better than what we've been seeing lately. And he's 15 to
Oh,
1. I
he's
mean,
going to
he's
be
going
a
to be
price.
a huge price in
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
By no means is this a single or just a
No.
horse to just use. I think you
Well,
want to have some coverage in this race when you're playing that pick
how
5.
many times do we sit there? We do it all the time. Bill will say, we sit there and try to predict the pace. We try
Yeah.
to predict the pace.
Especially
What
in turf
happens? One
sprint.
horse goes in, one horse goes out. Next thing you know, two of the speed horses are bothered at the break, and it could leave a horse like Baybuilt right alone on the lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, ugh, why didn't I have him? And that is why it's very difficult to leave out lone speeds because of you've got to take into consideration the gate issues that can happen.
Exactly, especially going 5.5
Yep.
furlongs. I can't tell you how many times,
Oh.
especially at Gulfstream, I've tried to handicap a 5 furlong turf sprint in
Yeah.
the pace,
Yep.
and it is like a horse that I thought would be last
Mhm.
is on the
Is on the
front,
lead.
and it's just because of the break.
Yep.
It's so
So
important.
critical.
So we'll see if Split and Chili Magician can get the pace that they want in front of them. We'll get to the second race. This does kick off the late pick 4, 5.5 furlongs on the turf for this maiden $25,000 event. And you do have that late pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, a little late pick 4 ticket, $24. We're looking our wounds, I guess, yesterday. Took a couple shots and came up empty. So we're going to go 4 deep to get it started in race number 6. This maiden claiming 25 is tough. 5, 6, 7, 9. Race 7, 3 deep with the 5, 6, and 7. Demon Buster plummets, but it's an angle that works for Corrales. 2 deep in race number 8 with the 1 and the 3. You get 2 for the price of 1. Motivational Biedermeier. Forever in Love, going to be your favorite. Looks awfully tough. We have a scratch in there of double whammy. And in race 9 with the 1 and 7, 12 tricks. I think That Dares Gold by Bustin' Stones. We saw one win the other day. Might be your value shot in the last.
All right, I like it. $24, a perfectly priced ticket there. And as you see, it was kind of difficult to find that single.
Yeah.
So I think these pick 4s are probably going to be pretty popular today. We'll take a look, though, at the 6th race to start things off. And you did use 4 horses. Keith, who did you prefer, though, in this race?
Oof, this is tough. I prefer the 7 when all else fails for Trombetta. We're going back-to-back Trombetta, try to get them home. Another one, just a little bit of a drop. It comes out of a really fast race. The winner ran at 82. So I'm going to kind of key around, do you like that, the 6, the 7 when all else fails, just out of a better race, Gabby, I believe. Do you like that? Going to be the speed. I think when all else fails, this drop's going to pick the head up and get a little bit more substantial late run.
Exactly. You look at her form and you're thinking to yourself, well, she just has no early speed. How is she going to keep up with the rest of the field today? But this is a substantial drop in class. Sylphide was going against Stakes Company yesterday. Magician's Question last time out, a good field even before that. Just a really heavy going that I don't think she necessarily liked. So all those things are, you want to pay attention to. The 9 Saturdays Rain is coming out of a turf sprint where they cut her back in distance for the first time. And I guess the question is, didn't the winner Anya, came from off of the pace? Do you think that they did get the appropriate setup a little bit in there?
Did. And
in terms of the pace scenario?
I thought so. And this horse did encounter trouble and checked pretty hard into the far turn. But, man, looks like she really closed with a rush, but it wasn't. It was just kind of a steady kind of a run. She's got back figs to go on, to go off of. Bumps up in class a little bit. I think she might go off the favorite. I think it might be between her and the 7. But, yeah, she was aided up front, no doubt about it.
I kind of liked the 4 Petticoats and Pistols. This horse, she's just kind of been even at the level in the past few starts, but rider switch there to Sheldon Russell and Susan Cooney. Sometimes when a barn is going well, the horses like this who've just been hitting the board and just haven't managed to break through, they wind up winning. And Susan Cooney's barn, well, it's been pretty hot lately.
Yeah, catches the right kind of feel. A lot of suspect form all the way through, dotted around this 6th race. Yeah, a little bit better each time. She doesn't have to move up much to go ahead and beat these. Interesting stuff. We got a first-time starter, the 5. Moonshine, a Lullaby, makes her a full sister, and the name is escaping me, but the full sister, 4 for 6 on the turf. Now, granted, 3 of those wins were going long. Question mark, though. By Blame in here for the tag first time out. That's a little bit sketchy to me. He's got some good works. Tread lightly, I guess, on the 5.
Yeah, maybe use it protectively.
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the 7th race, a $5,000 claiming event, 7 furlongs onto the main track here. And this race, too, we have Demon Buster. Even money on the morning line, dropping from that starter allowance optional claiming condition to the $5,000 tag today. He is a winner at 7 furlongs before, although just one win in 6 starts. So I don't know. This is another all or nothing. The
Right.
problem with Demon Buster, and it was the same case with, I believe, the Segovia. They drop in class, but they're just not fast enough sometimes to get up in time.
Right. They're not that fast. The one lucky thing he's got going for him, there's not a ton of blazing speed in this race, and he's found himself the last couple of races where he's been off just a beat slow, and it just takes him a little bit to get going and to catch up with those better horses. He hasn't been able to do it. This is the kind of field that I think he can do it. 46% on the double drop over the last couple of years for Jose Corrales, a $6 ROI, over $6. You're not going to get anything close to this horse. Is probably going to be about 4 to 5 or even money, but Corrales has done it time and time again. I'll take one shot, but I do like Brothers of the Time, your top selection as well.
I like Brothers of the Time just because he is. I don't quite believe his last race. I mean, this horse, it was not pretty. I mean, he was beaten over 17 lengths at 90 cents to the dollar, but I'm just going to try to put the blinkers on today and look past that. And I think he's going to be able to be a little bit more forward with added distance and get himself into the game sooner.
Agreed. Anything remotely close to the two-back race, he can win this if Demon Buster has any kind of a hiccup. Yeah, that rail that day on the 22nd at Delaware, going back and look at the charts, did not look like it was advantageous at all. So I think he comes off of a dead rail, better suited here in this race.
Dead rail or not, that was a bad performance.
Yeah.
But, you always want to play devil's advocate there, and Brothers of the Time hopefully can improve. You also use the 5/5 business. It just doesn't seem like he always has that will to win. He was 1 for 18 last season.
Chase Twisted Earl all the way around last time. You're right. Long time. One win out of his last, 21. So, yeah, I'll use him underneath.
All right, we'll get to the 8th. First half of the late daily double, 2 other than allowance optional claimer, 9 furlongs onto the turf, and Forever in Love is your 9 to 5 favorite for trainer Linda Rice. Was defeated last time out, but we'll take a look at the victory. This was 2 starts back when he delivered as the favorite, and this was him coming out of the gate. You can see in the short comment, bumped and pinched at the break. He's kind of down to the inside, and that's exactly what happens. He really was hindered by the break that day, and then unfortunately had to kind of be taken back from off the pace, but recovered. And I thought was a very useful victory. I can't really hold his race against him last time out. I think he's going to be pretty tough in here.
Yeah, Lanier just ran off the screen. He got the lead on that, kind of a baked turf course that afternoon. 109-4, 38-3 for the mile and a 16th. But no, Forever in Love was valiant. A great win this day when holding on at Laurel. But I think the mile and 8th is good for him. I think he just is a steady kind of a runner, get a clean break, looking at the field again. Who's on the lead? I don't know. I thought I liked Double Whammy a little bit, but he's a late scratch. But I think Forever in Love will go ahead and grind him down.
All right, the one motivational, though, well, I'm jumping on the Jack Fisher bandwagon because everything he seems to run here, whether it's dirt, turf, I think, right? One was dirt, one was turf. They just seem to win. They've been well seasoned over the hurdles. They're fit. They come here to Laurel, and they've just been really running out of their skin. So and this horse absolutely has the back class in order to win this race. He went against foes in the Laurel Turf Cup back in last fall against Renown and Generous Kitten. He's got the numbers to win.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Whitman's poetry. Or live, Dr. Mounty, I expected a little bit more. He was a big price last time. I'm going to see what he can do. I tried a couple of shug horses yesterday, didn't get the job done. But Forever in Love, just consistent, the distance. He's going to be tough in here.
I also used the Ford Daniel Ledoux. Blinkers do come off. And this is a horse who was very forwardly placed in a paceless race last time out. And I admire the approach because there was no pace in there, and sometimes you just got to go. But I don't necessarily think that's his preferred running style. I think he wants a target, take back from off of it. There's not a tremendous amount of pace in here, but I hope that he can sit more of that mid-pack trip rather than being on the lead.
Yeah, kind of like the horse I chased yesterday, the Lawrence horse, No More Talk. Like this kind of running style was going to make, could make the move in here. I'd like maybe see this horse take a little bit further back, but at a mile and 1/8, his move has got to be timed perfectly,
Mhm.
especially against these kind of competition.
I agree.
Yep.
He's not quite at the other horses level
Uh-uh.
in terms of class,
Right.
but he could definitely be a factor there.
Hmm.
We'll get to the ninth and final. This is a maiden $16,000 race, 5.5 furlongs onto the
Hmm.
turf course, and we've got the six Jackson here at 9 to 5 on the
Hmm.
morning line. Although she is 0 for 9 so far in her career. In terms of the multi-race bets, I
Hmm.
did try to construct a pick
Right.
five ticket. I kind of wanted to use multiple horses in here, maybe three.
I agree. I think 12 tricks after that last trip is a must use. Coming out of the Brenda Bella race, we saw Brenda Bella come back and run second
Hmm.
off the claim at right about the same level. Jax, man, just something about her. I just
Yep.
can't bring myself to put her up on the top spot. I think that Dare's Goal, though, holds value. This horse is a half to triple burner. A horse we've seen run well around here on the turf for Linda Alberts, running 2 and 3 other than was 5 for 16 on the grass, made upwards of 150,000. He cracked almost 90 on the buyer speed figures. We've seen the Bustin' Stones. They can handle the turf. We saw one come in from Charlestown the other day and go wire
Hmm.
to wire. Not saying that Dare's Gold is going to go right to the front. I think she can go ahead and sit. She's your upset shot in the last.
You like Bustin' Stones
I do.
progeny.
I do.
You're a big fan of
Uh-huh.
them. And rightly
Might have
so.
to-
I
might have
mean,
to
they've
go
been
see
running
'em.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been running
Yeah.
very, very well. So that's a good price play in the finale. Dare's
Mhm.
Gold. I did land on Craig's. I was intrigued by this horse a little bit last time
Mhm.
out at a price. First off the claim for Kieran McGee. He didn't get off to a great start last
Yeah.
time out, or excuse me, she
Mhm.
didn't get off to a great start last time out. But I'm thinking that we'll see an improvement from her, and any improvement will put her right there with the rest of the field. She'll be second start off the claim with Kieran McGee, and you're talking about top connections, and you're going to get a price probably 8 to 161
Yep, I
range.
do think she's going to settle in that range, right? Anywhere 6 to maybe even 10 to 1. But Fireheart went away and just hid from the field
Mhm.
last time out. So maybe she just kind of got lost back there and
Yeah.
just kind of didn't kick it in. Kieran taking no prisoners, jams right back down to the 12-5. I expect a little more enhanced run, I guess, from the back for Craigs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gave a late pick 4.
Mhm.
I took a stab at the early pick 4. We've got 9 races on tap. We've got carryovers and the Super High 5 and the 20-cent Rainbow 6. It is a beautiful day here
Mhm.
at Laurel Park, so come out and join us and watch and wager here and get
Yeah.
up close and personal with the horses.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to get a better day for racing.
Mhm.
So get your lazy butts out there, get out of your seats,
Including
you know,
myself.
get out
I'm
of
going
the
to
air
get out of the
conditioning
seat here.
and
Dave,
get out there on the rail.
exactly. Dave Robin will be up next with those scratches and changes.
You
Thank
got
you
it.
for joining us on Today at the Races, and best of luck on today's card.
Good luck.